Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Gainey Titan. As you can see, I've purchased the M41 Walker Bulldog, the American Tier 7 light tank that follows on from the T-37. So having bought it, I initially intended to show the first battle that I actually had in it, because it was a pretty decent battle. It was a Class 3 Mastery battle. However, 8 battles into it, and I'm still stock, I had this particular battle and I thought, well, this is much better battle, and I really have to show this one. And I want to show it now, so to speak. It was it was a lot of fun. So we're here on Westfield, which you're quite familiar with. I've had quite a lot of battles on Westfield, with varying degrees of success, and the light tank gets spawned on top of the hill. There's actually a few heavy tanks with me, so probably one of the reasons why the heavy tanks always seem to come from the south, whereas the heavy tanks that spawn at the bottom of the hill on the northern side of the map only rarely come up into the travel west and come up into the northwestern corner of the map. So we pop over the top here, and not particularly to my surprise, there is pretty much nobody there. There is a another Walker Bulldog, and he is keeping very close to the edge of the valley, so that in itself is a strong indicator in my opinion. There's probably nobody or much coming up behind him, or anybody at all perhaps. I pot off a few shots, but I don't really want to hang around sitting still, because I'm probably the only tank spotted at this point in time, and there are 3 artillery on the map. So I drive back down, drive west basically to lose the spot, and then I said, right, we're going to go down through the village, because if the tanks aren't coming up this side of the map, they are doing what the northern spawn team invariably does, which is drive down the eastern side of the map, and quite a lot of them have been spotted already by one of our light tanks that raced ahead and died. So the tanks that are at the edge will be spotted, but there's bound to be more sitting back at the end of the viaduct. And sure enough, I come up here into the bushes and I spot 3 tanks. So I back to the back row bushes, so there's at least 2 rows of bushes between me and the enemy, to minimize my chances of being spotted. And so it looks like stock I don't have any chance of getting through the side of a KV-4, which doesn't really surprise me, and I don't really expect to get through a Gloria AS-5 either, which is another well-armoured tank. I'm not too sure how well-armoured, I haven't really looked at the specs of it. Side of the Centurion 1, on the other hand, should be quite doable, even the front of the Centurion 1, if I can get it at a flat angle. So we put a few hits into Centurion 1, and so far my team hasn't really been in a position to take advantage of my my spotting, but I've picked up a few damage ribbons. I'm hoping to sort of track the Gloria IS, but I don't seem to have any luck at that either. And he's now facing down, so I'll see if I can put one through the roof. Now I'm starting to pick up some spotting damage, and there's a T-95, and again, not much hope of putting shots through him except through the roof. But I am starting to rack up some assistance damage from the T-95 in particular, because he is just pointing down into the valley. Well spotted by me, and I have managed to pick up a good few assisted damage ribbons from that. So the Centurion has disappeared, the T-95 has been taken out, and there's an E-75 here at the bottom of the viaduct at the valley, so I don't particularly want to get involved in a shooting match with the E-75. So I'm going to point my gun to the tanks to the south of me, because they are much further away, so I have a better chance of shooting at them without they noticing where the fire is coming from. However, I've been spotted either by the E-75 coming up the edge of the hill, or by the T-54 lightweight coming down the hill on the other side of the map. It could be one or the other. Looks like the Centurion has reappeared under the viaduct as well, so he might have spotted me as well. Either way, I can't remain on that location that I was at, and my best bet of survival was to come down the hill because that's the fastest way out. So I know there's still some heavy tanks up here. I'm not too sure whether the KV-4 was alive or not, and so I decided to pick the ridgeline and gain the spotting for them. So there's a T-10 still up here. So I'm going to go into active scouting mode. I just want to keep this guy lit up. I don't want to take him on because I'm not at all sure that I would be able to penetrate him, even from the sides. So it's much easier and safer for me just to keep him lit up and to keep moving, because again there's 3 artillery in play. An artillery just dropped beside me there. There's also the possibility the E75 might get a shot in on me, and the T-10 is gone. So now I'm going to try and lose the spot on me and move further in. So that was artillery again. Speculatively fired the E75 from this range. It doesn't look like I can hit. Or I can hit, but it doesn't look like I can penetrate at this kind of range, even with regular ammunition or with a couple of rounds of APCR that I fired. So the next thing really is to go after the artillery. I can have another go at the E75 when I get closer and see if the shortening of the range will make any difference. We've done pretty well anyway, so we can afford to take a bit more risks. I was hoping to get a tracking shot in there, but I still didn't miss, and I don't really want to get shot by the E75. So I'm backing off, and I'm going to ignore the E75 and decide to go after the artillery. The artillery are down here at the bottom of the valley, some of them possibly this side of the valley. It's kind of the usual location, there's plenty of soft cover, and it's not too far from where they spawned. We haven't seen anybody yet though. However, we are detected, and here is the first of the artillery, GW Tiger P, and I'm just basically weaving around hoping to avoid being shot by the artillery. I've managed to get a hit of my own in, and there's an M12 behind him. So now we're going after the M12. There's no sign of the third one, but I think he's up the hill anyway. So we go into the M12. I want to stay behind him. And I probably should have probably reversed or taken that turn more tightly, and I'm too slow, too long on the one location, and the remaining artillery manages to take me out. However, it's game over. There's just that artillery remaining, and there are 3 tanks closing in on him fairly closely. We flick around, we go through the artillery. There's an AMX 5120 coming up the hill from the bottom. And there's an Edelweiss on top of the hills. So the Edelweiss is going to come in on the artillery. His first shot misses, and he backs off, and the artillery starts pointing in his general direction. The artillery fires, however, and misses. So now the Edelweiss has really is safe out, and but I'm not sure if he actually got the finishing shot in there or not. I think he seemed to be just far too cautious, and that final shot may have been obtained by our artillery. However, 4 kills, 1600 damage direct, 3324 assisted damage, 16 penetrations, and an ace tanker, which is the reason I wanted to show you this. This is an ace tanker, gained with a decent amount of experience, 1902 experienced again, so that's quite respectable experience. It doesn't suggest that this tank is overplayed by the top quality players only at the moment, but it's still played by pretty decent players. So the ace tanker at 1900, I mean 1900 is a reasonable figure for ace tankers, the kind of figure you'd expect to be getting ace tankers at. So it's the fastest ace tanker that I've achieved so far. The only one that would have been faster would have been for the FE4202P when it was made a tier 8 premium, but that was on the day it became premium. It was for about 1500 experience. This thing costs a lot more experience and a lot more effort. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you again soon.